Good day, my name is Joshua D. Dorado and I will be your teacher in MAPE. So before we start our lesson for today, let us first bow down our heads for our prayer. Amen. Okay, once again, good morning class. Okay, so our topic for today is all about pitches and sofa syllables on the musical staff. So at the end of this lesson, the pupils, or you, should be able to determine the pitch name of each note, familiarize musical symbols, sing the sofa syllables with hand signs, appreciate pitches and sofa syllables. So I have a question for you. Are you familiar with the different road signs? Okay, so if I show you sample pictures of road signs that we see in the road, will you be able to familiarize it? Huh. Okay, so let's see. How about this one? Okay, very good. It's a stop sign. How about this one? A no U-turn. Okay. How about this one? A no parking. Okay. How about this one? It's a school zone. And lastly, okay, it's a hospital. Okay, so why do you think is it important to follow these road signs? Yes, very good. Following road signs help make the flow of traffic smoother. It fosters discipline among road users. It promotes road safety by helping or prevent accidents from happening. Being familiar with the different road signs can help you keep safe. But the question is, what is the connection of these road signs or familiarizing with road signs to music or to our lesson for today? Okay, so in connection of that in music, being familiar with the various musical symbols will allow you to perform music well. Okay, this lesson will familiarize you with the different musical symbols necessary for reading music. And our lesson is all about pitches and sofa syllables on the musical staff. Okay, so let us start our lesson. Music is read and written on series of alternate lines and space called the staff. Okay, the staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces. Each line or space on the staff has a specific pitch or tone. So whenever you see a musical sheet and the lines that you see in the musical sheet, 5 lines and with 4 spaces, that is what we call, yes, a staff. So the exact pitch or tone of a note is determined by another musical symbol called the clef. There are many kinds of clefs in music. The most familiar ones are the treble clef or G clef and the bass clef or what we call the F clef. So here's an example of the G clef and here is an example of the F clef. Yes, a different symbol, definitely. So the treble clef or the G clef is the common clef sign. It indicates that the pitch, G, is on the second line of the staff above middle C. Okay. So on the other hand, the bass clef or the F clef indicates that the pitch F is on the second line before or below the middle C. So basically, when you see the F clef, you may ask that why are the letters arranged in different positions? So this time, based on the middle C, you now go down from C, you go to B, then A, and a descending way. But when you read it, you start with the C, then the middle C, then F, and then so on and so forth. So basically, it's still arranged in an ascending order, but in a different position. You understand that, class? Good. Okay, so let's proceed. We have now the pitch names. So the line and spaces of the staff show the exact position of tones or pitches. To easily determine this, the first 7 letters of the alphabet are used to name each pitch. These letters are the A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So as you can see in the G clef, on the four spaces, that you can see in the staff, we have the letters F, A, C, E. To remember this easily, you can read this as face, or basically your face. That's how you can remember the first four spaces, or tones and pitches that are located in the G clef or the treble clef. Now, the tones or pitches that are located on each line on the treble clef are the E, G, B, D, and F. So to understand and to memorize this easily, we use what is commonly known as the mnemonic, or the mnemonic device, which is E for every, G good, B boy, D do or does, and F for fine. So every good boy does fine. So that's a mnemonic on how to memorize the five tones or pitches that can be seen on the treble clef. Now on the F clef, on the other hand, on the four spaces, we have the A, C, E, and G. Now how to remember this using the mnemonic device? We have all cows eat grass. That's a very good mnemonic indeed. Now for the pitches and tones located on the lines of the staff in the F clef or the bass clef, we have G, B, D, F, and A, or good boys do fine always. Okay, so those are just some examples on how to remember the pitches and tones located on the lines, on the spaces of the G clef and the F clef. So the next one, we have here the ledger line. So aside from the pitches on the staff, pitches can also be written below and above the musical staff. A ledger line is used to indicate pitches written on the line below or above the staff. So the figure below shows the position of the pitches. Notice that two pitches below the staff with G clef are D and C. Meanwhile, the pitches above the F clef are B and C. Okay, so let's now proceed to the solfa syllables, or the solfa syllables. Okay, the pitch names of the lines and spaces of the staff are often used to read notes. However, if the notes are to be sung on pitch, the solfa syllable must be used. Each pitch name on the staff has an equivalent solfa syllable. So, C being do, D, re, E as mi, F is fa, G is sol, A is la, B being ti, and finally let's go back to C, do. Okay. To do a solfa syllable that can be easily remembered using the help of hand signs, we have here do by clenching your fist, re, straightening your hand and raising it in a diagonal position, mi, just flatten it up, fa, put your thumb down just like so, and then so, la, just like making a beak with your hand, ti, using one finger only on the upper part, and then go back to do, clenching your fist, just like so. So now, can you sing the solfa syllable with hand signs? So that will be your activity for today. Okay, very good. So remember, class, that the staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces. Each line or space on the staff has a specific pitch or tone. The name of each pitch or tone is derived from the first 7 letters of the alphabet, being A to G. Okay, so the exact pitch or tone of a note is determined by another musical symbol called the clef. There are many kinds of clefs, but the most familiar ones are the treble clef, or what we call the G clef, and the bass clef, commonly known as the F clef. So each pitch name has an equivalent solfa syllable, as mentioned, C being do, and then so on and so forth. Okay, So before we end our class, I have here a short quiz for you. So the direction is to indicate which line or space the pitch can be located on the staff. Write your answers on the space provided. So I will give you 5 minutes to answer, starting now. Okay, so pass your papers to the front. Okay, so very good, class. It seems that most of you have gotten a perfect score for our quiz for today. Now, before we properly end our class, I will give you an assignment or your homework. I want you to draw and label each pitch and silpha syllables of the grand staff. Okay, don't forget to include the treble and bass clef on your illustration. You can do this on a long bond paper, and I want you to submit it to me on our next meeting. And that's it for today. Thank you so much. Class dismissed.